Hi, I'm Gina Tabrizi, licensed marriage and family therapist, and today I'm talking to you about healing is a love story. Everything that you've ever been through in your life, every scary, painful, horrific, terrifying event, every trauma, every devastation, every bad relationship or breakup, every addiction, every painful, whether it's a medical condition, cancer, all of these things are part of the human condition and part of the human story. It's our story of existence. Each one of us, as we come into this earth as humans, we will suffer. There is no getting around suffering. There is no free pass. There is no way to bypass it. It will happen to all of us. And so at the end of the day, understanding and accepting that in my story as a human being, I've experienced the human condition. I've experienced it with all its frailties and vulnerabilities and tragedies and triumphs. As I've walked through every one of these divisive moments in my life that altered and changed me forever, I have become more of the person that I am meant to become. The trauma does not have to define me. The trauma can be part of the story, just like every other part of your life story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The trauma comes with you. You get to grow past and beyond that trauma. You don't have to let it anymore define, limit you, or hold you back. This is your life story and your life's path. Each one of us have a path that was given to us that we were intended to walk, and there is nowhere else to walk but on that path. You cannot go left, you cannot go right, you cannot divide, you cannot conquer. You have to walk that path because it is the path of your knowing. Healing is part of the story of being a human being, and walking the path towards healing we all will have to do. There is no escaping it, and there is no diverting yourself from the path that is intended to be yours. We make excuses, we use substances, we use rationale, intellectualizing and minimizing and denying as tools to avoid staying on the path that is the reality of our life. It is our destiny. It is what we were meant to do when we came onto this earth and where we're headed as we're exiting this earth. We all have a divine purpose, and now is the time to know and understand what that purpose is for you. And if healing is your purpose, then let it happen. Let it come. Healing is meant to be for everyone. It is not exclusive for the rich or those who can find the right perfect healer at the right perfect moment. All of us are intended to heal and not live lives that are half measured and limited and fear-based. All of us have that potential inside of us. As you tap into that intuition that I've spoken about so strongly before, that is the first step towards that healing process, to discover and uncover who you truly are and what you're made of. You're never supposed to stop. You're always supposed to keep moving forward. And you only stop yourself because you tell yourself negative stories. You tell yourself you're not capable, and you tell yourself you're not good enough. Those are old scripts. Those are old mantras. You need to throw all of those out, and you need to start on this journey of healing by knowing that you have everything within yourself to heal right now. Everything that you need is inside of you. The guide, the path, the way, the understanding, the tools, the knowing. Sometimes you're going to be choosing between, should I go see this doctor or that therapist? Should I continue dating this person or getting this new job? And in all of those mixes and all of those choices, you are always understanding that I know myself. If I really know myself and I listen to my intuitive voice, I will know what path to take. No one will have to tell me which path or which direction to go in my life, because it is divinely written for me. It is scripted for me, and only I can live it. When you don't choose to live the path of your understanding, the path that has been speaking to you, the words that are coming to you on a daily basis that say, I know what my life is meant to be. I know where I'm headed. When you choose not to listen to that, you are committing your own emotional and terminal suicide. You are killing the spirit of the human being that is trying to evolve inside of you to become their most magnificent self. When you start this journey towards that magnificent being that you are, you have to let go of that past. You have to heal it. You have to relieve the burden of carrying it around into every relationship and every job and every opportunity and every story. You have to stop using it as your story and start with a new story that says, I am fully healed. I am fully capable. I am fully functioning, and I deserve everything that I've been waiting for all of my life. And that time is now. I don't have to wait any longer. The only reason you're waiting is because you tell yourself you're not deserving, that it isn't your time yet, that someone else or something else has to happen before you step onto that path of healing. And the truth is that that's the biggest lie that you've ever told yourself. You've always been on that right path, and you keep choosing not to look at it. You keep choosing not to take it. You keep letting other people tell you that you don't deserve it. But it's not true. It is an absolute lie, and hear me say that to you over and over again. Your healing path exists only for you, and you know it, and you've always known it. And as you start to take these little baby steps towards letting go of the dysfunctional and destructive identity that you've been carrying around and the wounded victim mantra that you've held on to because of all the tragedy in your life, then you will start to feel free, finally, fully breaking free from the shackles of your history and the pain and the suffering and everything that got you to the point that started you on this journey in the first place. No one should ever feel that it's not possible for them. No one should ever feel left out, that there is some magical tool or pill that other people take that give them the lives that they love so fully and so richly, and that somehow you're excluded from that. No one should ever feel that way, because healing is the journey of all human beings as we walk through this life and this human experience. And as we start to discover within ourselves how resilient we truly are, we will become more powerful, our lives will become more meaningful, and it will start to look as if it's magical. As you embrace the idea of healing and as you start to love yourself, you're going to notice that magical things start to happen in your life. And that's what we call synchronicity in psychology, but it's when everything lines up exactly the way that it's supposed to. And many of you see that exact moment of synchronicity as a God shot, or as God intervening in your life. And that's okay. Whatever you call it, that gives it power, that gives it meaning, that elevates your spirit, please call it that. But those moments of synchronicity are there to remind you you are on the right track and you should continue to follow it. You shouldn't waver from your destiny. You shouldn't waver from your decision making. When you feel fulfilled as you're doing it, you feel stronger, you feel more powerful, and you feel more competent and confident in yourself. If as you're moving forward, those things aren't happening, then you're still stuck in the past. You're still living from an old mantra and an old story and tales that you've been telling yourself for way too long. And on this journey as human beings, there's one thing we all need to guide us, and that's love. I've always believed, and I've always said to my clients, that if one human being on this earth loves you, and I don't care who it is, it doesn't have to be your parents or even your spouse. It could be a teacher. It could be a friend. It could be someone that you don't even know yet, but that is coming. If just one human being enters your life with love, it can transform you forever. I know I've had that experience in my life of being loved like that in a way that it changed me. And I know that I've loved other human beings in that way that have changed and transformed them. But as you're thinking about this right now and going, well, I don't have anybody that loves me. And I get messages on a daily basis from people through social media that say, well, I'm all alone and nobody loves me and there's not another human being. This is where a leap of faith enters in for a lot of people, because believing in a higher power, you always feel loved. It's knowing that something greater than myself is looking out for me, is watching over me, is embracing and holding my hands at all times, even when I can't do that for myself. And that is one path of understanding that love is always present for you. And the other path that I think is loving yourself. I talked about and mentioned earlier in my stories that I've shared with you is that the greatest love of all is when you come to truly love yourself and fall in love with yourself. And when you do that, that is the healing that transmits all other healing. And you start to feel it when you're in the presence of someone that is truly at peace with themselves. It is pure love, and they emanate that, and you are attracted to them, and you want to get closer to them. You want to draw in. You want to have that feeling sink into your bones, and you want what they have, because what they have is love, absolute, unconditional, undefinable love for themselves that is now exuding out of them and into the earth, and to loving all other human beings, everyone that they're surrounded by, and everyone that has the opportunity to be in their presence. I think at the end of the day, anyone who feels that love for themselves will heal from any tragedy whatsoever. Even if no other human being shows up to show you that kind of unconditional love, when you give it to yourself, that is the ultimate power that you have towards resiliency and towards thriving. You're not only going to survive and heal from your past and from all of these wounds that I've been discussing with you, you're now going to thrive. Someone who is thriving in their life is beyond the survival mode. We as humans get stuck in surviving and doing life one day at a time, doing the same things over and over again, being stuck in the same circumstances, never breaking free. But we think we're good because we're surviving. We're just existing. We're just letting the clock tick and the time pass. But in reality, that's not thriving. The thriving comes from waking up every morning and knowing I completely and utterly love and accept myself exactly the way I am in this very moment. I am walking the path of my greatest knowing, and I am fulfilling every aspect of myself as I continue to walk on that path. I am trusting myself intuitively to make the best decisions for my life and for anyone else around me. And you can feel that when you're in my presence. As you wake up every morning knowing and saying that, I am going to walk out into this day, and anyone that comes into my presence is going to feel loved by me because I feel love for me. You can take that and you can spin it and you can speak it to yourself in any way that works for you. Those words work for me. You might wake up every morning and say, I know that the God of my understanding loves me, and in this moment I am complete and whole. Whatever affirmations you need to use, please do that and remind yourself on a daily basis that you deserve to be affirmed. And as you affirm yourself, this human being, this conscious being, this spiritually evolving being, you will start to love all of the aspects of yourself that you often ignored or you often were disappointed by. It is a long journey, but it is a journey that's possible for each one of us, as long as we continue to have the willingness to stay on the journey, to do whatever it takes to fall in love with yourself again, to affirm to yourself on a daily basis, to speak words of love to yourself, to no longer ignore your needs, the things that you value the most, to start following the path of your dreams, all of those dreams that you've been dreaming your whole life. And you thought it was possible for everybody else, but you never thought it was possible for you. This is the time to explore that, because in loving yourself, you're healing yourself. And in healing yourself, you will envision a magical life that includes everything that you've ever dreamt of. I know sitting here, you're not going to dream the dream of, oh my God, I'm going to be a millionaire, and close your eyes and $1 million is going to fall from the sky. It's not supernatural in that way, and it's not fantastical. It is in reality a possibility, because as you believe that for yourself, you will take the steps and the actions towards doing the things that make you light your world on fire. When you live out of passion and out of purpose, then you're driven to meet those goals. And when you meet those goals, your dreams start to fall in line and you start to see magical things happen in your life. This is something that I envision for myself and everybody else that's listening or reading these words. For me, it took forever to get here, and part of the vision of writing Healing is a Love Story is so that you don't have to suffer as long as I did in self-doubt, sitting there doubting everything that I had inside of me, that it held value or purpose. There's no way now that I could say that to myself, but for years and years I would question, what do you have to say? Who do you think you are? Why do you think anybody's going to listen? Those are no longer even minuscule thoughts in my mind. I won't even entertain them for a second. If ever I get the little thoughts that come in of like, oh my God, that was so stupid. Why do you do that? You're being a klutz, or you're being an idiot, whatever. I stop it immediately and I go, there's no way that that's true. So I want you to practice that and go, there's no way that that's true. I'm a human being having a human moment, having a human experience where I'm making a mistake, or I'm falling down, or I'm missing the mark, but I'm just being human. Everything will not be perfect. As you enter this life, this fulfilled life of love and peace and harmony within yourself, everything is not going to be perfect. I'm not saying every day you wake up so full of sunshine and love and exuberance. I'm saying check yourself for every time that you don't feel that way, you can redirect yourself. That's you getting off the path of your greatest good, and you can redirect yourself back onto that path by saying, my life is a love story. I'm going to keep writing it. I'm going to keep creating it. And I'm not going to divert from that path no matter what. So that when you fall into sadness or depression or hard times or bad circumstances, you go, you know what? What is the gift in this for me? I will never forget the challenge that I had when cancer came. I knew it. I just intuitively knew when I found a lump in my breast that I had cancer. And everyone around me said, you're the healthiest person I know. You're so fit. You're vegan. You're this. You're that. Oh, it's not cancer. It's probably just benign. You know, it's some kind of a growth, or it's a cyst. Well, everybody was wrong except me. And I like to say to my clients often, I hate that I'm always right about the wrong things. Because trust me, I did not want to be right about that. But I absolutely knew in my bones when I found that lump that it was absolutely cancer. And so I took it with a grain of salt because I wasn't shocked by it like everybody else was. I had a knowing that said, this is coming and it's okay, just stay with it. And from that moment, I started to live my life just in one moment at a time, saying, well, this is happening now, and I'm still alive, and I'm still okay, and I can make choices here, and I can fight, and that's the best that I can do today. I don't need to look ahead, because we get lost in looking ahead. We project into the future, and when it doesn't look the way we think, and we get in fear about it, then we stifle our growth once again, because we don't allow ourselves to do the next indicated thing. Just stay in this moment. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great to make plans, but don't make so many plans that you're obsessed, that you're busy all the time, and that you're not living a life that's fulfilled, because there's no room in it to just be in peace at this moment and embrace what's happening to you right now. As you're listening to these words, reading these words, what's happening to you right now, and embrace it. At that moment, I was facing cancer. And when I embraced it, I decided to talk to cancer as if it was a guest in my home. I said, you're here to visit. You don't get to stay as a permanent fixture, but you are here to visit. And while you're residing in my home, I want to learn from you. What is it that you are here to teach me? What is it that I need to learn? And what I learned the first time was gratitude. I was so grateful for everything in my life and thought, my God, I take so many things for granted. I didn't even realize the magnitude of magnificence of my own very simple and ordinary life, just like yours. But now I appreciate everything. I appreciate birds singing. I appreciate feeling the sun on my face. I appreciate a windy day. I appreciate listening to the sound of the ocean. I appreciate arguing with my husband and my kids. I appreciate having a challenge at work. I even appreciate getting stuck on the freeway. As I'm saying this to you now, what is the challenge that's come to you? What has come to you that you need to now treat as a guest? If you're going through a divorce, or you're going through the loss of a dear loved one, or you are facing death, or your job, or opportunities, or you're just sad, or you're stuck in an addictive pattern in your life, what is the gift in this? What is it here to teach you? If you speak to it differently, it won't hold power over you. I know this to be true because I've witnessed it in my own life. It doesn't hold power over me. And it keeps revisiting the cancer, and I'm still like, well, if you're visiting again, then what are you here to teach me this time? And the second time, it's taught me to be bold, to be brave, to put myself out there, to be fearless in areas that I've always been so afraid, just like this, just like doing videos and doing talk shows and doing books. I mean, forever I wanted to write a book. I'm on my second one, and I think a third one is starting to percolate. And it's only because I'm not afraid. Why am I not afraid? Because it's a gift to have a struggle and a challenge come to you in your life, and it is there to teach you that you have something that is awaiting inside of you to be spiritually open, to be broken free. You have a message, you have an intuition, you have a knowing, you have a purpose, you have a passion that's dying to come out of you. And sometimes the only time that these things come alive is when we're in a struggle, and after the struggle is when we finally take stock and inventory in our lives, and we say to ourselves, oh my God, I've been living a half life. I haven't been the person that I know that I am inside. I want to become that person. I haven't living and interacting with the people that I've always envisioned myself surrounding myself by. I'm not doing that. And I need to do that now. And now you ask yourself, what is this struggle? What is this pain? What is this message? What is this trauma? What is it here to teach me? And what can I learn from it? And if I can do that, then I can start to appreciate anything in my life. I can let go of resentment. I can let go of hurt. I can let go of fear and start living a life that's much more alive and much more fearless. Waking up every morning saying, this is the beginning of the rest of my life. And every morning you wake up and say the same thing. This is the beginning of the rest of my life. I am healing. I am falling in love with myself again. I am honoring myself. I am doing everything that I can to live my very best life, and I will no longer let anything or anyone come in between me and the greatness in the story of my life that is waiting for me to be written. For me to write the truly beautiful, magnificent story of my life. And this is all of our jobs. This is all of our purposes as humans, as we're here on this planet, to let go of everything that doesn't serve us and to move beyond our own self-limiting beliefs to then become the most beautiful, magnificent, perfectly imperfect souls walking this earth for as long as we have the privilege to do so.